So a fisherman is lying under a tree, relaxing, just catching some shade. When a businessman walks by and he says, "Hey, fisherman, what are you doing just lying up under that tree?" Fisherman smiles. He says, "I've caught enough fish for the day. I'm just going to relax and enjoy the rest of my evening." Now, the businessman becomes frustrated because he sees this kind of thing every day at work. And he says, "Relaxing? Man, you be catching some fish. You're just wasting time." So the fisherman sits up because he hears the frustration in the businessman's voice. And he says, "Well, businessman, what would I gain by catching more fish?" The businessman says, "Well, for one, you can catch more fish. You can make more money. You could buy a bigger boat." Fisherman says, "And what will I do then?" He says, "Well, if you buy a bigger boat, you can go to deeper waters, catch even more fish, and make even more money." Fisherman says, "And what will I do then?" He says, "Well, if you make more money, you can buy 2 boats, employ another fisherman, catch more fish, make even more money." Fisherman says, "And what will I do then?" He says, "You can buy a fleet of boats, hire a team of fishermen, catch even more fish, make even more money, and you become rich, like me." And the fisherman says, "And what will I do then?" So the rich man smiles. And he says, "When you become rich like me, then you could be happy." And the fisherman smiles back and he leans back against that tree. And he says, "Oh, I thought I already was." See, the moral of the story is a lot of times we get blinded by the pursuit of riches that we equate to happiness. We get blinded by the chase, and we start to ignore the people, places, and things that surround us where true happiness comes from. I can't tell you in the last 10 years how many relationships I've lost or how many opportunities I passed up because I was on this habitual chase for money, for riches, for happiness. You know, it's a story of a man standing at the bank of a river, waiting on the river to cross so he can pass and get to the other side. And that's sort of what we're doing with life. Like that river is signifying time, just passing you by because you think happiness is on the other side of that river. Today's Sunday, October 13th. It's a full moon. And the 4th quarter of this year has just started. The last 3 months of this decade. And I think it's time for a shift in paradigm because I'd be darned if I go into this next decade not understanding, one, where true happiness lies, and 2, chasing what I'm really in search of. Am I in search of happiness or money? Does money equal happiness? I don't think so. So it's time for us to sort of unconfuse ourselves and start understanding what it really is that we're in search of. Happiness is already here. It's up to you to wake up every day and find a way to enjoy your day, no matter how much money you have. It's a quote by Dan Pena. He says, "Most people run out of money before they run out of time." So before you start this week and start back on this habitual journey we on, I want you to remember, before you run out of time, make time to be happy. Y'all have a good week.